The sun was high when we first met. The air was thick with summer heat. We chased the clouds through fields of green. G's and dreams that felt so sweet. Old trucks would rumble down the lane. Windows down, no need for rain.
We are officially all packed up. Out here, as you can see, my mom just went down with some trash, and then we're gonna take everything down to the car. I got halfway through the book, and I am currently hate reading it. So I will finish it, but just know that it will have to do a lot better in the second half with all the scary stuff for me to give it anything above a 1.5 star, if I'm being honest with you guys. I'm sorry this is such like a update, but now is the time where I had time to sit down and talk. I packed up the Hannah Bonham Young book from the library, obviously, but also Light Lord because I'm kind of in a fantasy mood. And obviously, I've explained this. I'm gonna be saving Kingdom of Ash, this brick, until I'm done traveling, so I don't have to like pack it with me anywhere. And then, yeah, so those are the books I packed. And when mom gets back up, I'm gonna put on some shoes and we're gonna take all the stuff down to the car and go pick up my grandma. And then we're gonna be on the road. I am in charge of the music. And I also have the audiobook for the book in case they don't want to listen to music. And then I can put it in my AirPods and listen to the audiobook. Just to try and get through it quicker. I'm hoping to low-key just get through it today. Because there's only a little bit above 100 pages left. Because it is a very short book. But it feels like reading about two 12-year-olds first time out in the world, and I'm annoyed every single time they open their mouth. But I'll get more into that once I finish it with my full thoughts. But without further ado, let's get this show on the road. We are officially here. My mom and grandma just went for a walk, so I thought now would be a perfect time to do a little recap of the day. I talked very shortly about this morning before we left home, so we're gonna get into that as soon as I have like very briefly recapped the day. Woke up super early, packed, got ready, all of that you guys saw. Got in the car, beautiful ride. I always forget how beautiful Denmark can be, and then I'm driving through it and I'm like, oh. And I'm listening to Noah Khan, and it's perfect. So we drove for a little bit, and then we went to a museum where one of my mom's friends met up with us, went to the museum, saw a bunch of stuff. I filmed a lot in there. And then we went for lunch in the same small town there, which was so cute and cozy. We had pizza. I don't think I filmed the pizza. I think I got like one clip inside of the restaurant. And then we went for a quick walk. I think I visited a bookstore, but their English section was tiny. Maybe I got a clip, but I definitely didn't get a book. I almost picked up When the Moon Hatched. And I almost picked up One of Us is Back, but I didn't pick up any of them because I have big book shopping plans coming up in the start of the next month, so not doing anything right now. But then we drove on until we got to another little town where technically we were supposed to stop to find a cafe, but then there were no cafes near us, so we ended up just grocery shopping. I both packed some stuff, but I also bought some stuff so we can make iced coffees. I don't think there are any straws, but I will deal with that somehow. I should have thought about that at the store today, but it was kind of filled up, so I wouldn't have wanted to run around trying to find straws anyway. So we got that and got for food. We're going to be eating out most of the time. I have told my mom that I would happily cook dinner, all of that sort of stuff. So we got some like classic Danish rye bread and stuff to put on it. And then for breakfast, my mom's gonna drive to a bakery not that far away from here and buy bread for tomorrow morning. And I got jam and cottage cheese to put on top of it. And so we drove straight from there to here, and now we are here, and it is so amazing. Last year, I brought you guys on that, and I'm pretty sure I also gave a little tour of that place. I'm not gonna give a tour of this place, but that place was tiny. It was so cute and it was great located. This place, huge. There are only 2 bedrooms, but the bedroom my grandma is sleeping in technically has another bedroom inside of it, which also has a closet in it. And then upstairs, there's technically like a living room, and then there's a bedroom with a huge bedroom, which is mine, inside of it. And then like there's a kitchen, there's a bathroom, there's the living room here, or there's a dining place right over that end of the room, but there's also a dining place beside the kitchen. And it's very cozy. Usually this place is used by a lot of musicians. It's a friend of my mom's who owns it, or like co-owns it with a bunch of people, and then they rent it out and stuff like that. So it's really cute. There's a huge backyard with like a gazebo sort of thing in it. Probably won't be using it, but it's so awesome to know that it's there. What else? I don't think there's anything else more to really say about today. It was really great. I am exhausted, but I'm hoping to finish the book right now. Like I said, my mom and grandma just went for a walk, so I'm gonna get as much reading done as possible while they're gone. And then obviously some before bed tonight. I feel like we've officially gotten to the point where it's supposed to start getting scary. They are officially splitting up. I don't think I went into what this is about, other than a few complaints this morning. This is about Nena and Josie. And they are at the end of high school. And because of university, one of them is moving far, far away to Los Angeles. So as a final goodbye, they decide to go on a hiking trip together with absolutely no experience. Here's the thing, I don't have a lot of hiking experience. I also wouldn't start out going on a 3-day trip with only one other person who also doesn't have any hiking experience. I would just, before I even get into talking about the book, and especially before even getting into my finishing thoughts at some point, I'd like to point out the fact that in no way am I gonna victim blame anybody and be like, oh, they deserve whatever's about to happen to them because they're fucking dumb. That's not what I'm saying, no, but they are freaking dumb, and they should have never been on this trip in the first place. So, first part, because that's what I've just read, which is just called Together, and then we've made it to Apart, and then there's another Together further into the book. But the first part was awful. It's quick and easy, do not get me wrong, but god damn it, do these girls suck. They're so dumb. They didn't know how to make s'mores. I need to bring that up because I literally read it last night and I almost DNF'd the book just because of that. They were sitting around the bonfire and all of a sudden they're like, how does the chocolate melt? Tried to put it on a stick and hold that in front of the fire and then was confused when the chocolate kept falling off. And then there's all this undercutting tension, which is fine if they could handle the tension like the adult women that they are, instead of like 12-year-olds, and end the night by screaming at each other. So day 2 starts and they're both in a bad mood. One of the girls has blisters all over her foot and it's like, you're a day's walk from the car. Turn around and go back to the car. Go to a diner, get a motel. Literally do anything except for what they do, which is keep going. Keep going, why not? Neither of them really want to keep going, but they also don't want to tell the other person that they don't want to keep going. And then they decide to take a detour. Even greater. Again, also forgot to mention they wake up and both of their phones are dead. And then they decide to keep going and take a freaking detour with nothing but like a map, a normal map, which I know technically I should be like, oh, but a map is easy, blah, blah, blah. But it's not. It's not for 2 girls who are already acting like idiots. So one of the girls has fallen down a hole, and basically from the description of it, it sounds like her foot is falling off her body. Also, I can point out the fact that this is YA, and I feel like a lot of these bloody descriptions, I'm like, I guess it's young adult, so it's okay, whatever. And now they're going to be separating because the girl's stuck in the hole and the other friend has to try and find people. So that's where I'm at the book. Do I feel like I just said a little bit too much? Yeah, but I'm also not telling you guys to go read this. Please don't. So now, with this very long update out of the way, I am not going to treat this fully like a reading vlog. So I'm not going to do like the thing where I come back the minute I finish the book to tell you guys my thoughts. I'm just going to come back when it's convenient for the trip in itself. And then we'll do like a, oh yeah, and here's how the reading is going sort of update. So without further ado, I'm going to sit right here on this comfy, semi-comfy couch and dig into this book until my mom and grandma gets home. And then we might eat dinner, but honestly, we just ate cake. So I'm not dinner hungry at all. Anyway, I am going to get into reading, but I'm actually going to leave you guys right there. Doesn't that feel okay? Great, let's... Alright, there's just been a slight change of plans. If I'm like shaking, it's just because I'm excited, but also a little bit nervous. I'm going horseback riding today. We randomly drove by this place yesterday and my mom looked it up and called them and they have time in an hour. So this is the riding FIP. It's been so long since I've ridden and we signed me up for like a, not a beginner, but a practiced, like you've ridden before sort of thing. And I'm a little bit nervous because it has been a while, but also very excited. I don't know how much I'll film because like it's just gonna be me, but I'll update you guys afterwards. Try to give a super quick update because the window's open. I'm not going to close it, but there's going to be cars going by. Today was a really great day. I had like a very quick update this morning that I ended up going horseback riding for like an hour and a half. I'm so sore. I'm telling you guys, my like inner thighs and butt hurts so bad, and it's not like muscle fatigue, it's like bruises. Because I've been like jumping up and down in a saddle all day for the first time in years, honestly. I have gone horseback riding not that long ago, but it was not as like long or anything. But it was a really, really amazing trip, honestly. We went through woods, fields, the beach at some point, and I had the most amazing Icelandic horse ever. So it was really fun. And it was definitely like, it was something so out of my comfort zone, but like because it was such, like we called them, they were like, we have time in an hour. I didn't have time to like think about it. I was just like, okay, do it. I slept terribly last night, but I don't think I'm gonna get too much into it. If you're curious, I've talked a lot about my like sleep issues in my Spain travel vlog, and I will probably be talking a lot about it in the Dublin traveling vlog. I actually had a point last night where I texted a friend and I was like, I don't think I can do this Dublin thing. But then I woke up this morning and it was time to pay for the apartment in Dublin, and I was like, okay, pay, and then you have like, you can't cancel. You can, but you'd lose so much money, so you kind of have to go. So then we drove, my mom and my grandma picked me up after the horseback riding because they didn't go, and we drove to a city not that far away and ate a very confusing lunch. It was like, you're supposed to pick up food here and then you can go over to this bar, but it's a bar where people are allowed to smoke inside to pick up drinks and cutlery and stuff like that. It was really weird and the food was not that good. But also in the city, I stopped by a bookstore and picked up The Troop by Nick Cutter, which is a horror book that I've heard so many great things about. Very intrigued into this. Which brings us into the reading. I think I've decided I'm not in the mood for a romance. I haven't felt like reading all day, and honestly, it might just be my mindset, but this is just calling my name. So I'm like, maybe that's why, and maybe I just won't feel like reading anything else until I at least give this one a shot. So I'm going to take the bookmark out of the woods, and before bed tonight I will be starting Light Lark. Oh yeah, and I finished The Woods Are Always Watching, and I gave it 1 star. Worst book I've ever read. I actually don't think I've ever rated a book 1 star before. And I once read a book where she had a relationship with her door. Not gonna get into any more details. It's called Unhinged, in case you're like, wait, intrigued. Because that's why I read it, because I was like, wait, what? But not even that was as bad as this. I'm so sorry. I definitely read this. Everything I complained about yesterday just kind of kept going. They were really hard to root for, even though what happened was terrible. And kind of like books like Binding 13, how on earth is this YA? These men like tried to R-word them. And they would like talk proudly about the fact that they had done this stuff before and everything. I just don't think I understand how a horror of any kind can be YA. But maybe I'm like looking at it wrong. Maybe YA doesn't mean what I think it means. I know it's not for little kids, but I also know it's not for like adults. And I'm like, ew. So that book, but yeah. And I cooked dinner, going through the plans, what we did today. I made dinner for all of us, soup, even though it's not really summery, but oh, it was good. And then now we're just gonna relax and stuff like that. So today has actually been a lot of relaxing, obviously except for the horseback ride and stuff like that. And then tomorrow we have a lot of plans. We're going to see like a museum with some bunkers. I kind of went in another one of my vlogs with a friend of mine to the same sort of thing, just a different place in Denmark. So now we're just going in this place. And then actually didn't get what we were doing first part tomorrow, but after we've been to that place, we're gonna go to the beach, swim, because it's gonna be really hot the next 2 days. So we're gonna do all of that. And then I'm gonna go watch the sunset tomorrow because we were gonna do that today, but it is overcast. Thank God. But for tonight, relaxing, starting this book. So we need to do the quickest of updates. I'm not gonna get too much into it right now because I think once I get home, I'm gonna film a book shopping vlog where I also do like a deep talk about this. Last night, I ended up canceling my trip to Dublin. I know I've talked a lot about it in this video, and I feel like I've done the mix of like mentioning that I was nervous and then mentioning some of the stuff I was excited about on and off. Unfortunately, the closer and closer we get to the trip, the more the like negative nervous thing is overpowering the excitement to the point where I'm no longer excited about it and I got physically ill just thinking about it. I'm gonna finish this off here. Like I said, I'm gonna film a video once I'm home talking more in depth about my decision and why I did it while also going book shopping. But I am 100% sure this was the right decision, and I'm so excited to get back into this trip and just give it my all now, because now I don't have to leave for another very heavy vacation 2 days later. So I'm probably not gonna film another talking update until I'm home.